House Leader Cantor is lending them some help. We spoke exclusively with the House Leader about this effort, and that's fast becoming a movement that's happening around the country.
First of all, I think that so much of what our lives are about is premised upon the sacrifice that our men and women in uniform make for us and their families go through for us. And this parade that is in Richmond today is a Welcome Home Our Heroes parade, is I think a very fitting celebration of that sacrifice. And there's a woman in Richmond who is a vet herself. She actually works for the Richmond Times-Dispatch, the newspaper, and it was her idea to sort of replicate what was going on in St. Louis in the beginning and make this an event for us in Richmond and for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I think it's just a tremendous event for all of us to honor the individuals who really have given everything for our country.
There are going to be a number of resources there to help the veterans reacclimate into their communities once they've left their active service overseas.
Well, absolutely. And Uma, there's a village. It's called the Veterans Resource Village at the end of the parade. And it brings together all kinds of services for our veterans so that they know that they're coming home to a welcoming community. And it is part of our obligation because we've asked our men and women in uniform to go and fight for our freedom and the security of our country. The least we can do is be there for them when they come home in a welcoming way. And it sort of echoes what we're trying to do in the House of Representatives in Washington, which is to make sure that we have in place policies that signal to veterans that we want them to come back to the community, we want them to have an easy way of regaining employment, and to make sure that they are accessing the services they need.
Do you think enough's being done to help our veterans in this country today?
Well, I think that in the busy life that we all lead, in the challenges that working families have, in these tough economic times, it could be very easy to sort of forget the sacrifices that our veterans have made for us to enjoy the freedom of America. So I do think it's an opportunity for us to double up, if you will, on our commitment to honor their sacrifice and to make sure that they have the kind of welcome and the kind of access to services and support as well as employment opportunities.
Right now there's issues that are being debated in terms of appropriations, and there have been concerns that too many cuts are happening in the arena of military spending.
The House of Representatives this week voted on the National Defense Authorization Act, and it is a blueprint, if you will, for the kind of commitment that I believe we should be making for the national security and defense of our country. And we're living in a time with unconventional enemies engaged in unconventional warfare, and frankly, there is no other military power or economic power in the world that can rival what we in America muster. And part of, I think, the decision that the country has to make as we work our way towards election in November is, are we going to be continuing to do that? Are we going to continue to lead globally? And so much of that is dependent upon the will of the men and women that we send overseas. And are we going to commit the necessary resources and make them a priority? I believe strongly that we should, because you've got to ask yourself, if America doesn't do that, who will? Who is going to make sure that we remain secure and free here at home? And I think it's something that the country will be deciding as we work our way towards the election.
Are you hopeful?
I am, because I do think, the American people are an optimistic, aspirational people, and the more we recognize the blessings that we enjoy because of the sacrifices of the men and women in our military, I think the more unified we become as a country to stand tall for what it is America is about, which is freedom.
The big concern for so many Americans, though, is that Congress has become so polarized that nothing is getting done, and many people are just hoping that solutions can be found to work some of these high priority issues out so that we can move forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think the people want to see a federal government that works for them. I think there's been a lot of feeling that it's been the other way around of late. and we're trying to effect some solutions in Washington that can deliver a result that says to the people that we are a country that is based on opportunity, that we all want people to see a better life, that we do want to be secure, and that we do want to have our priorities straight, and so that we can get on about the business of leading as America.
And our thanks to Congressman Cantor. And as